Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Indo-Canadian Business Chamber's ongoing series with Opportunities New Brunswick. Today, we bring to you a session on ICT, a very important sector for today. As one of the most important provinces in Atlantic Canada, New Brunswick offers great opportunities for IT and software companies in India to expand their services in Canada. Leading Indian companies like Tech Mahindra and HCL Technologies have made New Brunswick their hub, as it offers favorable immigration options, educated workforce, access to talent hubs, and most importantly, it is cost effective in contrast to other provinces. New Brunswick's strengths in geomatics, ocean tech, digital health, and telecommunications present a plethora of options to Indian businesses, startups, and entrepreneurs to expand and provide services in Canada, build partnerships, and develop a North American base. With this, I would now like to invite Ryan Leher from Opportunities New Brunswick to say a few words and tell us a little more about opportunities in New Brunswick in the ICT sector. Over to you, Ryan.
Hello, everybody. Ryan Lear here, Business Development Executive with Opportunities New Brunswick. In just one short minute here, I'm going to share my screen, but I just wanted to give you a quick introduction to myself. My role here essentially is to be a one point of contact or the main point of contact for any companies or businesses that are looking to bring their business and their whether it's families or whomever to New Brunswick and be that person that's essentially to act as a right arm for you. So I'm going to share my screen. We will get started. I'll speak to a lot of the stuff in the presentation, and we will take it from there. So just bear with me. Okay, so again, we're Opportunities New Brunswick. We're going to speak to today some of the resources, elements of how New Brunswick has been a great landing spot, and to use Natara's words, the hub of ICT and some back office support companies and resources in the province of New Brunswick. Again, I'm Ryan Lear, Business Development Executive. I actually work for a team that's called the Investment Attraction Team. So within the organization, New Brunswick ONB has many different elements under our umbrella, but Investment Attraction alone works with companies and businesses and people outside of the province of New Brunswick, working with them and providing resources and education to bring them to the province. So hence why the presentation today, our partnership with the ICBC and so on. Just a quick overview of the presentation. I put some thought into this, and I was thinking, I don't want to inundate you with too many small details and things like that. I wanted to give you a good broad overview and some strategy stuff, our top level plan of how we look to incorporate all of our elements and resources into one bundle to give you the best opportunity to be able to have a great landing spot here within New Brunswick. So the government as a whole and ONB, we have the same kind of mission, goals and strategies when it comes to trying to bring companies from outside of the province, and globally to New Brunswick. So I'm going to start there, and then I'm going to work down to some of the services that we provide on the ground level, which I really think sets us apart. That's a little bit different from other jurisdictions, other cities, other countries for that matter. And of course, I appreciate you taking the time today to sit in and listen. And one other thing I do encourage, when the presentation does slow down and it comes to an end after, I really, truly appreciate any feedback or questions that you may have that may arise, because I think that's where we can have a really good positive outcome at the end of this to answer any questions that you may have. So ONB and the government of Brunswick as a whole, the organization Opportunities New Brunswick works essentially to bring resources, wealth to the province of New Brunswick, our people, and as of late, a big element which I'll speak to later is newcomers, immigrations, and things like that. We want to see growth here, so we're opening up the doors and we're trying to really provide resources for people to come here as to do business and to live. So we are the lead economic development agency for the province of New Brunswick. And at the end of the day, we are absolutely focused on energizing the private sector through multiple different avenues, which I'll definitely speak to. So at the top level, we have essentially a 5-tier plan here, a 5-stage plan. And when it comes to delivering on these, we do have a strategy in which we're going to be able to act upon this. But the biggest thing is within the province, the automation, innovation, and new technology. So we're working on all levels of government. Everybody's in the same boat here, rowing in the same way, to try and find a way to be able to, create those strategic economic networks, break down the small barriers and big barriers that happen when businesses are trying to thrive, and things such as developing small nuclear reactor pods, positioning New Brunswick as an adopter of one of the first in the adoption of the 5G technology within the province. And that's another thing too. I will speak to it a little bit later. New Brunswick as a whole has been at the forefront and it's been at the pinnacle of our development is technology, fiber optic networks and things like that. So the next phase of this is obviously spreading the word about New Brunswick. So, we're very fortunate to be able to have a partnership like this with ICBC to be able to promote these programs, promote the resources that we have, and to let the world know that the province of New Brunswick, through our many resources, our doors are open. Again, I keep speaking to it, but I'm going to talk about it after. But the resources that we have on the ground level, from the top all the way down to the ground level, is next to none globally. And we're here with you every step of the way. So we're trying to spread that word that's out there. Next phase to that, you can see immigration and citizen of the future. It's a very broad word, but we have all these different strategies that we're putting into place to be able to, again, open our doors. We want to do business globally. We want to bring different businesses, companies, and people to come here to enjoy the quality of life. There's many elements outside of just the business side of things when it comes to New Brunswick. And, you can do the research and, hopefully we can have conversations after this presentation in a little bit more detail. But doing business and living life in New Brunswick has become a major part of what we're trying to accomplish here. And we take, not just the businesses, but we actually look at the people, and we want to do something that's special. And it's one of the major key pillars of the province's plan that's going forward. The next thing here is the private sector investment. So when it comes to private sector investment, we want to be able to, hence the color red that's in that pillar there. We want to be able to cut a lot of that red tape. We want to be able to create a one point of contact, not me as an individual. Yes, in this situation, it's me, but we want to have, whenever you're coming from outside of the province or outside of Canada and you choose New Brunswick to do business, we want to be able to funnel and streamline everything through one particular pathway. So you're not calling one department, you're not calling here, you're not calling there, you're not sending this to there. We want to be able to bring it to be able to through one spot and make it as easy as possible for you as a person, as well as for any businesses or companies that you're looking to potentially do business here in New Brunswick. And lastly, grow global and diversify our exports. So when it comes to, bringing, companies in, we want to be able to be a launching pad for businesses and companies to be able to, export from here, to be able to, do ease of business quite effectively. And these are the main pillars that we're trying to produce here to be able to help companies do that. So in short, the strategy to be able to act upon the major plan that we have, it's pretty simple stuff. Like the first thing is connecting businesses. So when I'll speak to a little bit later, but connecting businesses is essential in our eyes to be able to do business anywhere. But within New Brunswick, in the many cities that we have here, being on the level here, on the ground level with other companies that are here, we want to be able to interconnect those businesses. So companies that I think Nadir mentioned earlier that, HCL is already here, Tech Mahindra, those are, Indian example companies, but there are a lot of other companies here. We want to be able to open the doors amongst businesses and, provide resources to each other, because we want the whole economy to grow here and everybody supporting each other on those different levels. Growing through technology. So again, I'll give more specific examples later, but a major investment and a lot of conversations and planning is based around technology. I mentioned the 5G. We're looking to be the emerging province in Canada, with respects to 5G. We made major strides years ago in opening up fiber optic networks across the whole province, things like that. So we're looking to be able to add on that and to be able to bring that to the next level and continue on whatever technology is coming. We're always ahead of the curve, and we just want to let you know that any businesses or people that are looking to be able to come to New Brunswick, we are ahead of the curve in a lot of those things. And finally, hence this conversation, hence this presentation, attracting emerging sectors and locations and jurisdictions globally to be able to come to New Brunswick is a major part of our strategy. So, again, this partnership, I'm not sure if this is out there in the world, but we are looking to be able to set up potentially offices in India, to be able to be on the ground level with you, have those conversations, face-to-face interaction. Again, open door policy. We just want to be able to provide every resource and element that we possibly can to help you, give you the leg up when it comes to potentially doing business in New Brunswick. Now, what I spoke to a little bit earlier, Opportunities New Brunswick for years now has been building itself to be able to be one of those organizations that provides a customer service approach. It's not just black and white. It's not just, paper back and forth. Our services are very personal. It's customer focused, it's business focused, but at the same time, this is people doing business with people. So we want to be able to have those conversations and provide services. So when it comes to, again, the investment attraction team, we are the one-stop shop area of the organization that's bringing all the industry together, whether it's private partners, government partners, community development, immigration, whatever it may be. A person like myself, as well as my team, we provide that element of that one place to go to be able to bring everything you possibly need together to be able to do business around the world. So when it comes to doing business and understanding, finding those people, like when it comes to the ICT specific sector and back office and things like that, we know that it's very difficult to find people wherever you are in the world, to find employees and things like that. The investment attraction team, we act as a government liaison, but it's, we gather information, provide advice, support on how to be able to set you up for success, to be able to find people. So we do the investigation phase. So we work with you one-on-one. Then we move on to the decision phase, which is a lot of strategic planning. We work with you if you want to be able to come and visit the province and get you really on the ground level and look at local events to really get a feel for the community feel and all the events and resources that you have locally on the ground. And obviously implementation to be able to help you right from start to finish, to the initial conversation, all the way to being able to set up the business, whether it's remote, whether it's a physical office, things like that. You always have that support in me and my team to all the various different resources that we have across the organization. So it's not just send us a proposal, we say yes or no. We are literally working with you, planning with you, and finding ways to make sure this is as seamless as possible for you. So when it comes to sorry, just one second. When it comes to our partnership with ICBC and Opportunities New Brunswick, I kind of thought of it, we have some literature here. We use India's gateway to North America. So, there's many reasons for that. But the biggest thing is that many of the world's most successful ICT companies already have discovered New Brunswick. And I'll speak to a couple of them here in a little bit. They're already here, they're already doing business, they're already partnering with the resources, our universities, things like that. There's a lot of research projects on the go, which are already here. We're vibrant, it's diverse, there's not just one sector. We're trying to span a lot of different areas, which a lot of businesses, so there's versatility with what kind of business you want to do here. One of the biggest thing being, I won't speak to it too much, but cybersecurity, digital transformation, digital media, robotic process automation, geomatics, ocean tech, digital health, telecommunications, only to name a few. So as you can see, it's very versatile, it's diverse, it's a situation where we're providing all the resources for any kind of ICT company and back office support to be able to land here. Some of the major companies that have set up here are IBM, Salesforce, CGI, Xerox, Acreon, Cardinal Path, and as Nadir mentioned earlier, HCL Technologies and Tech Mahindra as well, which they've actually been able to come here and land here and thrive so far. So one of the quotes that one of the executives from Tech Mahindra had said, the inauguration of our center in New Brunswick marks a new milestone for Tech Mahindra's international footprint and underlines the strong spirit of cooperation with the local authorities. So I put that in there because speaking to some of my points earlier, one of the biggest things when companies and businesses are coming here is on the ground level, dealing with the local authorities. It's one of those things where we're able to break down those barriers, make ease of business happen a lot quicker, help you find the people, all those kinds of things. So there are two very good examples between HCL and Tech Mahindra on how we do that. So there's another little picture of some of the different companies that are here. As you can see, Salesforce is set up here. IBM, obviously, a lot of companies or people that are on this call probably have partnerships or programming and things like that with IBM. We have some major projects and resources here with IBM within the province. So I'm going to speak to a few different things here in the next couple slides. But the important thing with this, I didn't want to inundate with too many small details on the specific to ICT on the small things. But the biggest thing being is we knowing in ICT and back office, finding people, the talent, things like that are some of the biggest elements that are hard to find. So with New Brunswick, I'm going to speak to our agility, our people, innovation, and our infrastructures for ICT companies and back office to be able to thrive, knowing that you have the resources to be able to do business here. So our agility, one of our major pillars is the size of the province. It's actually become one of our value propositions. So as opposed to major jurisdictions or major cities like your Torontos, your Vancouvers, or even down in San Francisco, things like that, the size of us has become one of our biggest assets. And the ability to be able to connect with decision makers and stakeholders is easier than in larger urban centers. Things may take longer, red tape a little bit harder to cut. A running joke that we have here within the office, not necessarily a joke, I think it's actually happened at one point in time, is that we were trying to move something along, trying to position ourselves in a certain way to work with a company. And somebody from the organization can literally pick up the phone and call the premier and have a conversation about it. There's not many jurisdictions or places that you can do business like that to be able to move things along at that pace. We have what's called a business navigator program. So that's within our services that we have here. It's one-on-one support. So that's at the level of which, whether it's registrations or it's licensing or, immigration direction, things like that. We have all those resources with different people, processes to be able to help you move things forward. Again, when it comes to our jurisdiction, it's politically stable. It's always focused on economic development, so that will never weigh to the side. And there was a labor force survey that went out that New Brunswick was the most complete employment recovery according to Statistics Canada. So what that means is that we were able to rebound very quickly. The province and our teams here were able to put the processes into place to be able to get our employment recovery right back up to pace. And here's just a quick example of how our agility works here within the province. The business service sector represents a textbook example of this agility. So if you can read there, the New Brunswick capitalized on the advanced telecommunications infrastructure created by MBTel, which was years ago, to create a thriving business services industry. All it took was 2 policy updates and changes to a 1-800 number frameworks and modernizing workers' compensation rates to be able to propel all the business service centers within the province to be able to get jobs here, to get businesses to move up and running. And that sometimes that those things can take years for it to happen, but this was something that happened relatively quick. Now, here's one of the spots where we believe that ONB has one of the biggest advantages: finding the talent you need and being able to provide that white glove service to be able to bring those employees to your doorsteps to be able to help you thrive over here in New Brunswick. So we know that the H-1B or the H-1B visa in the US has caused some of the most dynamic companies in the world to rethink their global footprint. Oops, just 1 second, sorry. And one thing here is the average employment tenure is about 9+ years. So what that means is that, if you're going to be hiring somebody, you're actually able to hold on to those people for quite a long time and to be able to keep your business going and have a good employee retention. We actually work with the universities, and we create customized programs and tailor university and community college curriculum to meet the ICT industry's needs. The focus is on ensuring our schools are set up to succeed at supporting both our primary and emerging economic sectors and the supply chains those industries depend on. We have 64 regional post-secondary institutions / locations with access to 115,000 students. ONB's client engagement team, a value-added service not offered by most jurisdictions, I'll speak to on the next couple slides. And we have a high level of retaining international students globally.
Brian, just wanted to inform you that we can no longer see your screen.
Oh, okay.
We're not able to see the presentation anymore.
Yep, 1 second. Thank you. Can you see it now?
Yes, got it. Thanks.
Okay, just 1 sec. Sorry about that. It just glitched on me a little bit there. Okay, that's where I was just speaking to, if you guys wanted to see that. Okay, we're going to move on to innovation and how New Brunswick is a place to innovate. ONB takes a leadership role within the entrepreneurial ecosystem here by building strategic partners with all the organizations that are here. So we have a strong cybersecurity network here. We have Knowledge Park, which has Salesforce, Cvent, a lot of these different companies that we have programs with all the universities here within New Brunswick. Again, we're home to CyberND, ONB's nonprofit partner. That's an organization focused specifically on cybersecurity innovation within the province, research, and industry collaboration. We are home to the most robust startup community in Atlantic Canada and the most entrepreneurial university in the country, the University of New Brunswick. I didn't want to list them here, but the University of New Brunswick has actually won awards nationally here within Canada based on entrepreneurship, ICT specific programming, automation, things like that. And actually, we spoke to it a little bit before, but Tech Mahindra's parent company, Mahindra & Mahindra, is now a strategic partner of New Brunswick's Resin. Resin is a local company here within New Brunswick. They're predictive analytics startups helping crop growers make better decisions and increase productivity. So there's just a small example of how a company has imprinted here, been able to partner with our open door policy with the university within the province, and be able to be productive and continue on with those resources here within the province. Here's just a small snapshot of some of the major key sectors that are within the province. Obviously, ICT is there, but we know ICT is connected with all these different ones. But all these sectors are emerging here within the province. We're investing in them. We're building the resources and the partnerships for them to be able to thrive. Here's the slide that I can speak to that directly relates to ICT integration, being able to set up and to be able to have business flow. Our infrastructure here within the province it's pretty phenomenal. We're home to Atlantic Canada's largest seaport. New Brunswick is the most central point to the Americas and Europe. It has a vast fiber optic network reaching every corner of the province. So like I said, years ago, the province of New Brunswick invested in the fiber optic network that was here within the province, and actually spanned it across the whole entire province to be able to have ease of business, to ensure that connectivity and that speed is there to ensure business success. It actually provides a strategic access point to numerous fiber-based submarine and terrestrial carrier networks as well. We are a leader in access to 5G internet services. We're continuing to invest in that. It's launching at a regular basis, and we're looking to invest in it even more within the next few years. And significant upgrades to rural broadband network, delivering speeds of 100 megabytes per second, unlimited data downloads to New Brunswick consumers. In this day and age, having that type of infrastructure to be able to do business, to be able to work from anywhere, knowing that, employees and people are working from their homes more and more, this allows for that to happen, and allows for, to be able to have that talent to be able to work from home. The time zone advantage and proximity to major markets, that's a major element to what we can provide. It's able to support global operations and serve clients in both North America, Eastern and Pacific seaboards in the same business day. So when you put that into perspective, it's not easy to be able to, have a generic work day to be able to hit all the different customers and needs and customer support that you need to do. New Brunswick has become known for being able to, hit all those points in the run of a day. And I'll show you an infographic here on the next page, but essentially 55 million consumers within a 1,000-kilometer radius. So you can see here the location, New Brunswick, just right across the ocean to London, Paris, things like that. The time zones map out relatively well to be able to do business efficiently in the run of a day. And there's our province right there. Fredericton is the capital city. There's many cities within the province, but as you can see, all the blue there, there's a fiber optic network that branches all across the province with great access to Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, major cities across Canada, as well as across all the way to the West Coast. When doing business here in New Brunswick, one of the claims to fame that we're starting to see that's becoming a little bit more apparent as time goes on is the lower operating costs. We're revered as one of the most cost competitive jurisdictions in Canada. And due to the province's low operating costs, the corporate landscape and the cost of living, I didn't want to put too many stats in here today. We can speak to that stuff after if we have conversations. But even if you're looking at rent, real estate, housing, all those kinds of things, the generic cost of living is a lot lower than other places across Canada. And there was a report that was done not too long ago that said there's 30% New Brunswick business savings over 5 years compared to a major jurisdiction like Toronto in central Canada. So again, I spoke to it a little bit earlier. So our services, our team, things like that. What we have here is called a client engagement specialist, essentially your New Brunswick expert. So yes, I would be the main contact when it comes to, doing business here and housing all the different elements of doing business here. But once we go into an agreement and you plan on thinking about potentially moving your operations to New Brunswick, you get what's called a client engagement specialist, where they work with you from helping you with finding the resources to hire employees, to find those international students, all those kinds of elements to be able to work you right through the process. So again, it's a three-prong approach here. There's a lot of small little pitfalls that can happen when you're trying to set up a business, find people, things like that. The client engagement specialists, it's right in the name of what they're called. They are specialists. They know all the resources for the different universities. They're able to, find students, find pre-existing people that are working here to help you, to ramp up and find those employees that you're looking for. They're very well connected. They connect you with the programs, the decision makers, and all the different various leaders that are within the province to help you on the right track to be able to get set up properly. And, like I mentioned, it's top-notch local talent. They're very resourced. They help you relocate your team. They can leverage the new graduates to build your business, and they know exactly where to start. So you're not losing time trying to find all these different places. They'll take you in the right direction and get you started properly. This is an element of ONB that's actually put a lot of focus on it recently, is a business immigration program. So, it's a business entrepreneurial immigration stream that we're trying to open up here to allow for open business and open door policy across the world, specifically India. And, it focuses on key sectors. It's a program that's been recently updated, and it helps entrepreneurs and people build roots in New Brunswick before becoming permanent residents in the province. So there's different elements to this program, and we can go on into great detail. But my goal here today is to just bring light to the fact that we do have a major focus on business immigration to help this be seamless, to provide resources with the multicultural associations, settlement services, and provide an extremely soft landing for newcomers and for families. So we are actually actively attracting entrepreneurs in key regions and sectors worldwide. It's New Brunswick centric. It's focused on fit, community involvement, and building roots in a successful business over 2 years. So it's not just try and get you here and let you not give you the resources and the elements that are needed to be successful. Much like myself with the investment attraction team, the client engagement specialist, our business immigration team services, we're with you from start to finish. And we want to see you succeed, and we're providing all those elements consistently. We provide annual site visits, and we do nominations for permanent residency. So again, just to elaborate on that, the immigration solutions to current staff looking to make the move to New Brunswick, that's in full effect. We work on finding the best international talent to further expand your team, and identifying opportunities for international students on a permanent basis. And again, helping newcomers connect with multicultural associations, to give you that sense of community, integrate you into the community here, all those kinds of things to make sure that you're set up for success. And at the end of the day, I like to finish. I know it's a lot, and I try not to put too much into this, but the general scope and the general message that I try and provide is, especially when it comes to ICT and it comes to the back office support, I know that finding talent is difficult. I know that getting set up is difficult as well. But at the end of the day, ONB and the province of New Brunswick is trying to create a solution that's quite special, and it's very different than other jurisdictions across the world, for that matter. And we're with you every step of the way. Again, the client engagement team, the average tenure of employees, the 64 regional post-secondary institutions that are here is what's here. But what we're actually doing is helping you get access to that, making sure that you feel comfortable and you can find the talent here, and knowing that there's programs at the universities and all those kinds of things. So now that I'm through the presentation, I'm hoping that I can answer any questions that you may have, and elaborate a little bit. I know it's a lot of information, but again, I just wanted to let everybody know that this is a special place, and it's set up for success to be with you from start to finish.
So Ryan, thank you very much. And before I hand it over to Shivani, who will probably take you through the question answer, I just want to reiterate how important our partnership is with Opportunities New Brunswick, and also to share with our guests who are here today that please, of course, one is that please feel free to ask the questions, but we have been through when HCL Technologies was coming into New Brunswick, and we know how tremendously supportive, opportunities New Brunswick was, and how great the province is for someone to set it up over there, the organization. So do take advantage of Ryan being here and, ask your questions, and we will be happy to, take it on even further. Over to you, Shivani, to guide the question answer session.
Thank you, Nadira. Ryan, the first question is from one of the ICBC team members. He was wondering if you could just elaborate on the services that are available for Indian software exporters, and also what is the scope for them to connect to potential local partners?
Right. So do you mean like exporting, like outside of New Brunswick to across Canada or whatever
from
it may
India, from India to New Brunswick? What would be the scope, or are there any such possibilities for collaborations, partnerships?
And so, what was the kind of business?
This is basically for software exporters, application developers, software services, for them to export from India to New Brunswick. Is there any scope, and what are the possibilities of getting connected with the local, probably small or medium enterprises there, New Brunswick based?
Right. To be quite honest, if I'm understanding the question correctly, we don't necessarily open the doors for connecting exporters from India over to here and do business development for them, kind of thing. If that's what I'm understanding correctly, we're more so for providing resources and elements to be able to bring those businesses to New Brunswick to be able to set up here. Because again, we want to be able to grow our population. We want to create businesses here. We want to grow globally and bring those global companies here, but we want them to be living here, working here, all those kinds of things. So if I'm understanding the question correctly, doing any kind of business development or doing any referral kind of stuff is not necessarily in our general scope of business of what we do.
You would rather encourage them to come and set base in New Brunswick and form a collaboration and kind of make their business grow in New Brunswick.
Of course, to be totally transparent, that's our mission, and that's our goal, is to expand here and have people living here and working here.
Great. It's a great place. So I hope more and more people will opt for that. The other question is, what are the options for Indian IT companies who would want to set up their base in terms of business licensing, registration, etc.?
Like what would it take to do that?
Yes, exactly. What kind of licensing, what kind of compliances will they have to meet? Or are there any incentives offered by the province, some benefits, tax benefits, etc.? Just I think briefly touch upon that topic so that people have clarity.
Yep. So in short, there's a lot of small little details for, compliance, registration, all that kind of stuff that would need to take place that would take us quite a while to go through after this conversation. But in saying that, there's different incentives. So obviously our incentive is to create jobs within the province. So if somebody came over, there's different tax programs, there's rebate dollars that can be given to the companies for employees, on actualized employees that set up and do business here. Again, our biggest thing is support for companies, but it's all about job growth. So if you're looking to potentially come here, there are different programs for rebate dollars to come back, and there is some financial assistance to do so.
So Ryan, what about the tech startups then? Indian tech startups who would probably want to set up base in North America and would be considering New Brunswick. And as you know, startups do not have a lot of resources. Financially, they're not doing so well that they will be able to, kind of take advantage of your lift and shift model. So what is it for tech startups? Would you have angel investment groups or, venture capitalists that you can just simply connect them to and pick them up from India and put them in New Brunswick through these people?
Yeah, we don't normally, because there's a lot of when it comes back to the compliance and things that are needed to be able to do business in New Brunswick, we do look for, business plans and financials and things like that for it, that's something that happens way down the road. But we are certainly open to having conversations and maneuvering them in the right direction. It's not necessarily that we would provide any dollars from ONB for a startup for investment, but we certainly have the resources and the people to be able to connect them and put them in the right direction for them if they wanted to get started. Again, I come back to, I kept speaking to the University of New Brunswick and things like that. Like, it's a very, very healthy entrepreneurial situation here in New Brunswick. So all conversations are open, and, pointing in the right direction is certainly something that we could do.
I think, yes, then specifically when people want to have more elaborated discussions, they can probably get in touch with you. Just want to inform everyone here that Ryan will be getting in touch with you, or somebody from ONB will be. Ryan, the next question is from Amita Jain, who wants to know, she's an edupreneur and an educational trainer. So
Okay.
What options does she have at New Brunswick regarding educational and training consultancy services? Does she have a scope of coming there as a skilled worker? Probably that's what she's wanting to ask.
Like, if she wanted to come over and practice her business over here as an individual?
That's right.
Yeah, it's essentially open to everything and anything. The scope at which that we could help, financially and things like that, that differs though, because there are different parameters within our policies and processes for, how many employees that would be needed to do partnership with and things like that. Again, that's something that I need to get some more information from her on. And again, to come back to your point, that I'm open to any kind of conversation that anybody wants to have thereafter, and just to see what kind of options and resources I can provide.
Ryan, I'm going to request you, while we are taking up the questions, if you can just type in your email ID and send it to all the attendees. So yes. Then, when they have specific questions, they can just reach out to you. And
yes.
All right.
So
now,
the chat?
Sorry,
the chat. Yep.
Yes. Okay, so this is also from Ashish, who says business immigration sounds like a good fit for me. How and where do I explore this further? Ashish, get in touch with Ryan directly. He will guide you through it, or he will put you in touch with the right person or the right team. Similarly, there's Kiran Deshpande, who wants to know, if we are a small enterprise, can we look forward to our next operations in New Brunswick in electronics?
So are they a retail type organization, or are they doing business to business?
Kiran, can you answer that? They're manufacturers.
Manufacturers.
That's right. And if they're wanting to set up another manufacturing unit, is it possible for them to do so in New Brunswick?
Yeah, like, I think one of the main rules, like, we're mandated, within our organization, if it's pure retail to like consumer, it's something that we normally don't go down the avenue of. But I'm sure that if it's manufacturing and it's business to business, then it's something that we can certainly explore. And, I'd have to look at a little bit more of a business model and things like that to understand, to see if it's something we can do. But again, absolutely open to any and all conversations. This is the whole goal of this. And I'm looking forward to continue on some more conversations.
Okay, I think now it's the same people just asking a couple of more questions. And for that, I would just request all of you, Ashish, I would request you also, I think Ryan's email ID is there. If you could just reach out to him and give him a detailed description of what it is that you're looking for. And as I said earlier, he will then guide you to the right person or the right team.
Yeah.
Ryan?
So
yes.
is that
words?
correct? No, is that Karan, the one, but the 100% subsidiary of British company in Poon?
Yes, that's the manufacturer in electronics.
That's the same one, okay.
That's right.
Yep.
Who wants to set up a manufacturing unit.
That sounds like it might be down the avenue where we could go, but so there's no more questions?
I don't see any more questions, Ryan. And of course, then all these people will be getting in touch with you directly. You will have their contact details. You'll be taking it forward from here. Thank you so much, Ryan, for sparing time and educating everybody about the opportunities available in New Brunswick. And thank you, Nadira. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Have a good evening for all those here in India. And Ryan, you have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.